Well, welcome to the podcast. We have something very special today. We're in a real estate office with one of the youngest principals from multi-franchise in New South Wales. Welcome to the podcast, Hunter Maxwell from LJ Hooker Lifestyles.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me come along and chat on the podcast.
Now, it's a lot of time people are principals, which to those who don't understand, so principal is the one who runs the office. They're responsible for everybody in the office, responsible for all the offices, all the staff, and most of them are old, grey-headed guys like me who have inherited from their parents, inherited from someone else, or bought the office. But this is something a little different. Tell us a little bit the story of Hunter and how you ended up being the principal here.
Well, I guess without going too long into it, I started at 18 in Dad's real estate office after school. I was going to go join the army, and then I was going through the process of that, and then I decided to take a gap year. So after working in the real estate, I went off, did the gap year. I thought, you know what? Actually, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. So then I came back home, and Dad's like, look, just stay in the business with me for a little bit. I didn't know what to do after that, so I was just doing real estate, just admin, helping out at 18. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that gap year again. So I went over again because that was pretty good. That was a bit of fun. Yeah. And then when I came back, I was 19. I was like, all right, I should probably get a real job. Yeah. And Dad's like, look, just stay with me until you work out what you want to do. But look, just stay with me. Look, you'd be good at it.
So you still haven't got a real job. You're still real estate.
I'm still here. So 10, 11 years later, I was just like, you know what? I ended up being there with Dad, and I kept building up. I was like everyone's associate. I did property management first, moved over to sales. The market got tough in 2018. And a lot of salespeople left, and Dad turned to me and he said, all right, Hunter, I really need you to start selling houses, like properly. I'm like, oh, okay. So I kind of, like when you get pushed against the wall from going associate to, all right, go sell houses now. That was good. That was the push that I needed.
So really what is an associate for people who don't know?
Essentially, the associate is ones who would be able to help a lot of the main agents with a lot of the tasks that need to be done, and say with prospecting, but not necessarily do the main negotiations with buyers and owners and putting together the deals. I was there and I'd listen to it, but it would be more everything else, showing the open houses, getting the business on. And by listening to it a lot, I was, when it was time, I felt like I could have these conversations, but under the guidance of the other guys. So, how did it go? You know? And that's kind of built along there where I did a lot in sales, and then I found my love for management. So I thought, you know, I've done decent in sales and very happy with it, but then I thought I enjoyed running the business and seeing that side of it more. So I was general manager for a while. I stepped down from sales a little bit, so let me kind of run the business a bit for Dad. And then it took the time came where it was like, well, we've got to do something with the business. And I didn't want to really see it go anywhere else. So all right, I'll step up and let's do it. And then I took over officially from September last year.
So the office we're in, we're based in Camden, which is the southernmost point of Sydney, which we don't class ourselves as part of Sydney, but technically we are.
Just over the bridge.
But this isn't the only office you've got now.
No, so we've got Camden. We started with Bringelly. Yes. Then we opened up with Camden. Yep. And then Oran Park, and then our final one was Wilton. So that kind of got us across the Macarthur and Wollondilly regions.
So they're basically the fastest growing areas in the state when it comes to new housing.
Essentially, and with the two big areas with Oran Park and Wilton, which are really big growing towns, and with Camden direct surround. So it's and then with Bringelly with the new airport, it's a very big place to be, and a lot of opportunities. We're very excited.
So when a lot of people don't know a lot about how a real estate agency works. They just see the guy or the lady doing the open house, taking names, looking after that, but they don't see what goes on behind the scenes. What has been your biggest challenge from moving from sales into management and running your 4 offices?
I think one of the biggest things that you've got to stay on top of is essentially your numbers and your people. And to ensure that everyone has what they need to be able to do their job well. I think that that's a really big thing, and communication is a big part of that. So when we were selling, communication is key. You got to have really good communication with the landlord or the vendor to ensure,
or both, and
the buyer, to ensure that expectations are aligned. And that's very similar here in a business. The challenging part is when you grow and you spread over multiple offices and with a bigger team, your time can be spread so thin.
It can be, yeah.
But I think having important one-to-one time with staff to ensure that they're on track and they've got everything that they need to deliver the best result is important. And that's what I've incorporated into my weekly schedule. So that way I've blocked in time that I can see all the staff. So that way we've got the little things that we go through, but then I can help them with anything that they're struggling with. We've got our big meetings for the office together. And then I got my time blocked out where we do the numbers and the prices and zero and all that kind of stuff. All the fun stuff when you do all the actual numbers and everything. But you've got to block your time, otherwise it's so easy to be caught everywhere.
So from when you first started in sales to today, in the real estate industry, buying and selling homes, what's a couple of things you've seen change the most?
Well, a very big thing that actually has changed from I started in 2015 to now is the use of digital contracts. So when we started, you'd get your 2 contracts and you'd always get the vendor to sign to, the buyer to sign to, you swap the pages, you send it off to the opposite conveyancers, off you go. And I remember sitting there with the 2 contracts and you would flip each page to make sure they're both exactly the same.
Yes, I've been there, done that when I sold,
So you would do that to ensure that as an agent that the contract's 100% right, everything's the same, you send them off. I remember the first time that we did a digital contract and I had a buyer down towards Wollongong, which was 40 minutes away where I was, and then someone closer towards the city, probably another 40 minutes in the opposite direction. That was the seller and the buyer for a house where we had. And I was like, we're going to get this deal done. I remember that, let's try the system. And we sent it out within 5 minutes, both people are signed, back in, done. I was in the office going, it's sold. And I didn't spend all night driving to Wollongong, then driving all the way, I think pretty sure it was Burwood, to come back to Camden to get the deal done.
I remember when I was selling all those years ago that doing that and then people bringing in cash or checks and you having to write out the receipt. And the receipt had to be perfect or you had to rewrite the receipt again and then explain yourself to the lady who ran the trust account on the Monday, why you've had to scratch a receipt and write again. So someone said to me, I was at a conference and they said, COVID was the best thing for real estate because it forced a lot of agencies who had not changed over the years into the digital age. When things had to be done that way. What are your thoughts on COVID and how it possibly affected real estate for buyers and sellers as well?
I think it opened up different ways to view houses, to have conversations. Very much stuck to before COVID, you'd have your, we put the house, open house, you've got to come. But now we've got so many more opportunities to view properties digitally. People know how to use Zoom and that's very easy. Digital auctions, so many auctions are now brought back either in rooms or on site, so still personal, but now they're hybrid. And they have the Zoom as well. So for people who can't attend, it opens up that market where you wouldn't really have that before. It's either you come to the day or you miss out. Now, it's commonplace enough that it's okay. It's like QR codes. Everyone was a bit funny with QR codes. COVID, everyone knows how to use a QR code. So now, that's another really good thing. So you can relay and pass information a lot simpler. Scan this QR code. I don't have one of those. There's not that resistance anymore. So, yeah, cool, I'll just do that. So you pass information a lot easier. You can get a wider audience. And the biggest thing is social media and the impact that social media has on advertising and viewing properties.
Because some agents I've spoken to, when they sign someone up, they don't necessarily put it on the main websites for 2 weeks. They use their social media and their databases to try and sell it before because it's quite expensive to go on the main websites. And if they can sell it before going on and the vendor's happy, which is the owner, everyone's happy.
Well, it's a win-win. And I think that's another thing that's changed in the 10 years is with vendor-paid advertising, but not even vendor-paid, just marketing in general, to put a house on the market to sell it these days, doing what you need to do, if you did everything, it's quite expensive.
It is thousands and thousands of dollars to do it right.
And so that's where I think people are getting a bit smarter with how they do it, and they do it in stages and providing the vendor multiple opportunities to sell.
Yes.
Opportunity one could be, and you'd like this, buyer's agents. Buyer's agents bring the VIP buyers straight away, and then you've got your own database of buyers as a real estate agent firm. Opportunity two is coming soon, and and social media stuff, and that way you can see how that goes. Option three is actually on the market. And then option four is any kind of campaign that you use, whether you go to auction or other things. But you've got different times that you can sell. And that way you can be strategic. You might get the deal done. You don't need to spend that $5,000 marketing because you've got the best offer straight away from a really good, genuine buyer that was there.
Now, you mentioned auctions in parts of Sydney and parts of Melbourne and in the southeast quarter of Queensland. Auctions are pretty well prevalent. I think in some areas there's up to 80% go to auction.
Yeah.
But as you get further away from the city centre, auctions drop down and the old private treaty starts to rise. There are pros and cons for both.
Oh, 100%.
What's your preference?
It's
auction or private treaty? And why? Or is it by a property to property stage?
Yeah.
And why do you think people don't embrace auctions like they should?
I like to get a property sold, whether it's private treaty or auction.
Of course you do.
The best analogy I use for people is the method of sale is like a tool to get the job done. And you've got different tools to get the job done. Sometimes you need multiple tools to get a job done, not just one. You might need multiple, but they're all just methods of creating competition and interest to get the job done. I think auctions can be done incorrectly, and maybe many people might do it incorrectly where they put it with auction and just pray that someone's going to turn up. But if done correctly with the right buyer feedback, giving the right price expectations, and you're transparent throughout the whole process, can deliver a very positive result. One of my favorite things about auctions, for those who do go to auction, is it's very transparent on the day.
It is.
You go there and you can see who's bidding, and you can, if the highest bidder is not quite where the owner is, we let them know, look, we're not quite agreeing. Yep. We can either agree now or afterwards. It's so transparent in that, but it also provides a date for things to happen.
Yes.
And sometimes as buyers, because I've been a buyer buying as well, sometimes we need a date to go like, all right, we've got to make a decision. Let's go.
I've got a client like that at the moment.
Yeah, because otherwise we weigh up everything, but it provides a good environment for everything. So look, I think auctions are good, but you can auction most properties, but you can't auction every vendor because auctions might come with a little bit of extra stress of the unknown, and we try to deliver the best ways that we know what's going to happen no matter what.
Correct. Yeah.
If 6 people turn up, if 10 people turn up, if no one turns up, this is what we do. So we feel comfortable because we already know worst case scenario, what we're going to do next to get the property sold. So we've removed that anxiety. But for someone who's selling, it's their first time. Or it might be it's something that you don't do often, so it's still a very big thing. So we can completely respect that if someone doesn't want to go to auction, we can try to deliver that same methodology, but just using private treaty.
So if we flip it a little bit, because you mostly, as you know, being here, you're looking after the people who are selling, but buyers are big now. Some buyers use a buyer's agent like me, other people choose to do it themselves. What's a bit of advice you would give to people who are looking for homes but are constantly missing out? And that happens, especially in a market like we have at the moment.
Yeah.
Isn't a lot of stock on the market.
Yeah.
High competition, which is pushing prices up.
Yes.
Everywhere. So, but if someone said to you, Hunter, I'm not having much luck.
Yeah.
Or what tip could you give me to try and help me get a bit more luck and maybe find the house I'm looking for?
I think it's a tough one, but the main thing is just being in everyone's face, like agent-wise. Like, so if you know all the agents in the area and say, look, I'm very keen, I'm here ready to go, and you want to help the agent get a deal. Of course, you want to try to get the best deal for you, but if you don't, you want to work with the agent to get there.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to annoy an agent is to muck them around and throw different offers, not commit to things that you say, and then and an agent will then unintentionally or intentionally disregard you for another buyer because they're not looking for the easiest sale, but they're looking for a sale that's going to complete, that's going to be the best for the vendor. So I think it's very important to, yes, definitely push for the best price, but to work with the agent the best way and communicate to say, hey, we want to deliver the best price, we want to get it done. I just don't see the value at that level. I'm here at this level. Can you see how we go? Let us know. And we're just going to take that risk that if you don't want to pay more, if someone else buys it at a higher amount, unless you've shown those cards that you will go higher, we've got to be okay with that. And I know not everyone wants to show all of their cards, but it's just the biggest thing that you just got to work with the agents the best way. And also see what the terms are in that area. Most people might want 66 Ws, which is no cooling off periods, 10% down.
Which
Most
is very common in regional New South Wales now.
Exactly.
Yes,
Some
Queensland,
people
yeah.
want cooling off periods. Some people want 3-month settlements. Get an understanding of what do the vendors in that area usually want, because that way you can position your offer in that way. At least that way you're also ahead. And the last thing I can definitely say is if you've got the money ready to go, pre-approved, but actually final approved, like ready to go.
Except for the valuation, yeah.
Exactly. You're much a stronger buyer than someone who hasn't gone through that process.
Correct.
And then when an agent presents that to a vendor, you're a much stronger opportunity. So by having all of that ready to go, showing that you're a very strong, committed buyer, even if the prices are quite like if you're a little bit under than the other person, they might go with you being a stronger buyer.
So we're going to finish up with 2 questions. I need you to get your crystal ball out for these 2.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay. First one is a local one.
Yep.
What effect do you see the new Western Sydney Airport, when it opens, having on Greater Western Sydney and South West Sydney property market?
It's going to be interesting because there's going to be a lot of positive, but then when people talk about flight paths and experiencing it, some people might feel a negative. And that we're just not going to know until it happens, because the planes are going to be quite high in the sky and it might not be as bad as what some people mention. But I think there's definitely going to be growth. It might not be as sudden and as quick as what people might expect. It might not be, all right, airports open one day, next day, all prices up 20%. You know, it will happen. It might just be that little bit of gradual getting interest, all right, everyone getting more exposure on it, and it will pick up. So I think there'll be positive growth out there. It's just about just taking that little bit of time on top of the normal market.
This year's property market has been described as bipolar.
That's a great description of it.
It is very hard to pick.
I don't know which way it's going. I don't know
one
which way it's going.
We don't know where the interest rates are going.
Yeah.
We think they're not going to come down.
Yeah.
They're going to at least stay or go up, maybe 0.25, and probably by the end of the year, probably 0.5 or up. What do you see the property market doing in Sydney and in New South Wales for the next 12 months? Where do you see it popping?
I think there is hesitation from buyers due to the potential of the interest rate going up more. But with that being said, there is scarcity in the market because I think the people moving might not be moving as much because maybe they don't want to buy or are afraid of buying, so they're just going to stay here. But when you've got scarcity, there's always people looking in these regions because it's growing.
Yes.
So I think even with the interest rates going up, with that scarcity, it's just going to naturally supply and demand and bring some property prices up a bit higher. So we've had that low period for a while when we had the 13 interest rate rises, and then we had the cut a little bit and started to come up, deflate a bit, but I think there's still a lot of growth to happen in the next 12 months.
If there's one thing you could do with your agency and all the agencies that you know in the LJ Hall group, they're big, they're one of the best known brands in the country actually, an improvement or in the real estate industry that we're not currently doing but would help everyone, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I like that. I think one of the biggest things that we could do is provide better value information for people to make educated decisions. I think there's a lot of self-promotion, which is good, and we need everyone to know who we are and we're here to help sell houses. But I think if we could provide some really good resource for information more regularly, we have it at our fingertips.
The data's there, the info's there.
The data's there, but I think it's important about understanding the people and what data is relevant for them.
Yes, everyone's different.
So by building those relationships with people, knowing where they are in their property journey and providing some really good information that they can make educated decisions, I think will help real estate agents be a much trusted source, but then it'll be good generally for the community. So I think that's a good thing that we can strive for.
So last couple of quick questions that the people aren't going to judge you by these.
Oh, great.
League, Union or AFL?
I don't watch football.
Well, that's the first cross.
Full stop.
Favourite food?
Favourite food? Pizza. I love pizza.
Pizza. Yeah. Favourite holiday destination?
Southwest Rocks, which is up towards Coffs Harbour.
So we're going to see a LJ Hooker lifestyle at Southwest Rocks?
No, because I won't step on Ken's toes. Ken's lovely up there.
He might buy Ken.
Yeah, well, no, he's. We've met him a few times up there, and he's lovely. But it's such a lovely little piece of the world, 6 hours north of where we are, and it's just beautiful.
And if you could go and live overseas with your family in one place,
okay,
where would you live?
Oh dear, I would probably live I'm just gonna have to say Scotland because I come from Scotland. I've seen Scotland.
Yes.
When I say come from Scotland, my heritage
Yes.
to Scotland, and I know of it more to make that call rather than some other places that I haven't been to.
So do you like singing like most Scottish do?
You don't want to hear me besides the shower.
After enough wee whiskies, it doesn't make any difference, does it?
Not at all. Just don't judge me on the singing.
Well, viewers, thank you so much. That's the end of our podcast for today. We are here and wrapping it up with Hunter Maxwell from LJ Hooker Lifestyle, based in Camden and out this way. If you're in the area, pop in the office and say good day. They're a very well-respected local real estate agent. And thank you for your time, mate. You have a groovy day.
All good. Thank you so much.